Then Mike Hansen took over for a few years after that and did a great job. But Buckley, going to college here in Austin when I was first starting Access TV, he's a really smart guy, and he ran the show for several years. He had David Icke books when I never heard of David Icke. When I first got on air, I hadn't heard of David Icke. He was the first guy to give me a David Icke book, and I was like, man, this is crazy. But back then that was my view. It's changed some because so much crazy stuff comes out. But the point is, he was into this stuff at the same time I was, or even more, into reality, into questioning the limited spectrum of information that the mainstream corporate media gives us. But this morning, we were having breakfast, and he just boiled it down so well, and I was kind of paraphrasing him a moment ago. He said, take like a Naomi Klein who writes for Rolling Stone, or a Matt Taibbi. People like that just 5 or 6 years ago attacked the conspiracy culture, attacked people that talked about the private Federal Reserve, went after people that criticized the system. But now today, they sound more and more like you, but from a little bitty narrow window they're looking through with their kind of leftist, progressive template. They see it all through that. And we all look through rose-colored darklies. But he described my view from the beginning, from not coming from some ideological angle or some left-right system, though I'm influenced by all the thought that's out there, but more like a dragonfly with hundreds of eyes, with the composite eyes, just seeing things from all these different angles. And then the problem is trying to articulate that. But then he went on to describe that membrane between alternative media, anybody that looks at things from a different perspective than left-right, and the establishment media, the left-right reservation, that wall is being decimated right now, that wall is being removed right now. And so that's what's happening. And so the system denied all of this existed so long that now that it's all coming out in the open, we've planted all these seeds, and now the tyranny's almost like rain and sunshine on the seeds. It's making them sprout up from everywhere. I mean, just with the work I've done, not counting all the other great patriots out there, I've done 5,000, 6,000 radio interviews the last 10 years, conservatively. I have done thousands of my own radio show. I have made 20-plus films. We've been seen hundreds of millions of times in just the last few years on YouTube. I mean, it's an exponential. And if you watch something I did 10 years ago, it's pertinent and seems like I said it today. People say, wow. I mean, here's a quick example, and I'm going back to your calls. A year before 9/11, 6 months before 9/11, 3 months before 9/11, 2 months before 9/11, I was saying they're prepping the public for staged terror attacks. They're going to bring in the military on the streets and more control. It's going to be done incrementally, because I could see all the preparations. I was going to the urban warfare drills. I was reading the RAND Corporation documents and CFR documents that were public. Then, by mid-July of 2001, I was able to go on air and say specifically they're going to blame it on their asset, bin Laden. I knew he was former CIA on record. And that's a fact, folks, if you didn't know that. That's on record. I mean, that's admitted. Go check it out for yourself. Tim Osmond was his code name. I could see they were prepping the public for it. I knew they were massing troops in and around Afghanistan. I could see them getting the public ready for it. It was all going on out in the open. And I went on air for 2 hours. I had a 2-hour TV show at the time, once a week, on top of the radio show locally. And I went over this. Well, it just so happened that I would then do the show live, tape it, and then turn it back into Access TV to air one more time as a tape show. At least one more time that they are charged to air it. It aired at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on 9/11, 2 months later. Hundreds of phone calls. Most of them, saying, wow, how do you already know this? That's an inside job. But some saying, how dare you say it's an inside job? It was a 2-month-old show. I did the show before that happened. And, you know, my good buddy Jimmy Vaughn, that's what finally really woke him up. He was already researching this information, you know, the blues legend. But he watched the show live when it happened. And then he remembered people talking about the re-airing of it later. But that's the issue, is the power that we have to accurately predict what's going to happen because we know how the globalists operate. That is massive. We're going to come back and try to hurry through calls. Joe, Dennis, Casey, Darren, Marcy, and others. And you know what? I haven't gotten into the full TSA news, the new UN carbon tax info. I haven't gotten into the economic news, but it's all coming up. But first, I'm going to attempt to race through your phone calls. By the way, don't forget, you can watch this radio show in live streaming video at prisonplanet.tv. And we've got a deal running through Christmas, 5+ months free right now at prisonplanet.tv. We only do it during the holiday season, during Christmas, prisonplanet.tv.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 5 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping. An $87 value, yours free. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on Earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship, body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Well, Drudge Report just updated. Gave Nemo the assignment because the TSA has announced they want checkpoints on the trains and subways next. They've already been beta testing it. And Kurt Nemo today did an article on it, and it's red-linked on Drudge Report. TSA searches are trains and subways next. And it goes on to go over the facts. So good job, Nemo, on that story. The next story we need, well, we're going to get that report done. There's another key angle that needs to be covered. Okay, let's go back to your phone calls here. And again, I could care less about being linked on the biggest website in the world if my story was about O.J. Simpson or something. I care because this is a real issue. If they get away with putting their hands down our pants, they can get away with anything. It's very, very simple. And I'm glad that people are hopping mad about this. Let's talk to Joe in Pennsylvania. Joe, you're on the air.
How you doing, Alex?
Good.
I got a TSA story and then a suggestion, if it's okay, if I have enough time. I went on vacation back in September, and I didn't really think too much about the whole humiliation thing, the way they pat you down. I wasn't thinking about it, but I'm in a wheelchair, and the guy's feeling me up. You know, he's got my arm stretched out, and he's doing the whole breast feel and everything like that. And when he got all done and stuff, and I'm like, "Is that it?" And he looked at me like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, aren't you going to check underneath my seat there? I could have some plastique down there." I was being sarcastic with him. Some plastique down there. Aren't you going to look underneath my foot pedals? And he kind of looked at me like with this dumbfounded look, like...
Yeah, no. They don't check where bombs could really be. Look, the #1 threat has always been in the cargo. Almost none of that gets checked. Look, it's all about training us. Now, again, the average TSA worker doesn't know that because they don't know how to tie their shoelaces on average. I mean, who else could they get to do this humiliating job all day?
And he looked at you like they're usually the big Bubba types, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But my other suggestion, I was listening to Max Kaiser last week with you guys, and everybody buy a silver dollar, and I was trying to think of a way it could be coordinated. I don't know anything about setting up websites or anything, but you have a vast array of different radio show hosts and people that you know, and we all subscribe. We subscribe to your websites and stuff. What would you think about putting up a petition where your listeners that pay and subscribe made a commitment, like on a certain day, like on the 11th of December,
yeah,
to buy that silver dollar, and you just through all of your radio shows that their listeners would all commit to do that same thing.
Joe, I hear you and I appreciate your call. This show is powerful, but it's not that powerful. Our power is to get a pebble rolling downhill that causes a rock slide. We are able to trigger chain reactions. Even mainline corporate media has trouble setting the agenda now. We've gotten to the point where even the big mega dinosaur media can't set a lot of the agendas. It's the alternative media and all those voices in a fight with the corporate media now for the heart and soul of society. It's the idea of everybody buying silver and knowing that by buying silver in an uncoordinated way that will force the hand of the big banks that are short silver and that have been manipulating the market, that will reveal their naked shorting. So that's the real power. That's the real issue on that front. Plus, talk show host. Most talk show hosts in the Patriot movement are so jealous of yours truly that they can't be worked with. They'd rather be in their obscurity with 100 listeners apiece.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN radio.